Sir, going naman sa sa cultural management. Okay, ano ba yung mga basic lang na dapat malaman nila? Alam mo niyo na mga Filipino, narinig yung ganito, ganyan, magtatanim, not knowing yung protocol, yung tamang proseso.
I think one of the major changes now, which is very important, is on the fertilization.
Okay.
The Filipinos has that mentality. In this mini textbook, it tells you, you
Yes.
fertilize at the beginning of the rainy
Onset
season
of the rainy season.
and towards the end. But they said that doing that, at times the plant would die of so much fertilizer, and a certain part of the year of no part. So what is very important now is at the immature stage, a small amount of fertilizer is being applied to the plant on monthly basis.
Monthly basis
So
naman.
just like banana, we are using monthly basis for fertilization during the first 2 years, and because of this, the plant would rather grow properly. Of course, it is very important that you know the durian planting points should already be fertile, and normally this is prepared for 1 month addition of organic fertilizer or half sack of chicken dung. Among the dung that we have, chicken dung is high in many nutrients compared to goat manure and cattle manure. So that's very important. And then as a result of this fertilization, is very important. At the time it will be fruiting, the fertilization is just 4 times a year, and this will follow the cycle of fruiting.
So the monthly fertilization is applicable even for the newly transplanted plant?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how many every year ganun po yung system until mamunga siya?
For the first 2 years.
First 2 years. Okay.
Very important that ma-feed in small amount yung tanim, durian in particular this time. So it's small amount that to satisfy the needs.
Okay.
So that that's too much fertilizer, because plants will die of either too much fertilizer or hunger. Although
Okay.
it's more of over
Too much.
fertilization. Yeah.
Okay, what is enough, sir? Available na po ang Agribusiness merch sa Shopee. Ang link nasa description box.
Normally during the first year, this is about 30 grams only.
Per plant.
Per plant per month. Increased that to about 60 grams during the second year. And on the third year, it becomes quarterly, maybe 1.5 to 2 kilos
Okay.
per application,
Per application.
for applications na lang.
Okay, sir. How are you going to apply it? Kagaya pa rin ba nung dati na magbubutas ka ng ganon?
Yeah, during dry period, you have to dig it a little so to bury it. But during rainy seasons, and anyway, durian should really be better irrigated. And so when you have irrigation facilities, the fertilizer is just applied on the surface. Just spread around at first year about 10 inches around, and increase this to 20 inches at the second year. At the third year, it's about 2.5 to 3 feet around the plants. Ring method of application. So you need not dig actually, except when you have no irrigation, then you have to dig, particularly dry months.
Sir, dati, aside from the onset and di ba, I remember that. Yun din yung mga sinasabi noon, no?
Yes.
And another thing is, yung sinasabi, yung at the end of the canopy of the tree, doon ka daw magbubutas. Is that also still applicable right
That's
now?
still applicable within the end of the canopy, although sometimes a little inside the canopy would do better, because it is there where the root system are concentrated. assuming that it is cultivated properly before planting.
Ito yon. Paano po yun? Yung right way of preparation the area?
Well,
Sabi niyo sir, parang ididig ba yun? Gaano ka lalim
what
yun?
happened is most of the thing they are doing now in Malaysia and they are doing it here in Thailand, they would dig the planting points of about 1 by 1 meter to have 1 meter. Change this with surface soil together with organic material, maybe vermicast or chicken dung. So if it is chicken dung, this should be applied at least a month before planting to ensure decaying, so it will not be too hot for the plants.
Okay. Is there any other important things to remember as far as fertilization and land preparation is concerned?
Well, others would apply also foliar fertilizer. Foliar fertilizer will help so much, particularly the seaweed base. A lot of our farmers are doing that, and this will enhance the growth of the plants.
Even for the young plants, sir?
Even for the young plants, yeah.
I see. Okay, sir. How about the pruning? Importante rin yan. Sir, I don't know, is it also applicable for durian to keep it small?
Well, that's what they are doing now in Thailand. In what we visited this morning, you will notice that a lot of their plantings there in this station is 5 meters by I think 8 meters. So this is row planting.
Okay.
In the row is about 5 meters. And so
between the row.
in between the row is about 7 to 8 meters, my estimate. I think what they are doing there is because of pruning, they would reduce the size of the plant because this would, of course, reduce the cost of management.
Yes.
When you have shorter plants, flower pollination, proteining, and so on, harvesting is facilitated than when you have tall plants.
Yeah.
Besides, if you have the high density, the moment it gets fruiting for the 5 years up to the 10th year wherein it attains its maximum growth, there's really a lot of production because with let us say 200 plants to a hectare, this will produce more than 100 plants when it is planted 10 by 10. So meaning even at the 5th year, the production of a smallholders is already double. That's the advantage of close planting.
So, sir, mas kasi ang notion ng tao, no, pag mas malaki yung plant, it will give you more fruit.
Yes.
So ang notion, mas marami kang i-harvest pag malalaki yung puno. But what you're telling now is despite of maliliit yung puno, but because of the closer distance, in effect, you will be harvesting more.
Yes, you will be harvesting more fruits. That's also the reason why in Thailand sometimes per hill they would plant 2 plants, so more branches around, more of branching around to produce more fruits.
It will not compete to each other, sir?
Yeah, there is some competition, but the spreading of branches and creating more branches when there are 2 plants is greater. So the primary branches are the one fruiting, so meaning with that you produce more fruits. This is practiced only in Thailand. In Malaysia, they do not do this because to them, its plant should really be provided an area for maximum growth. You have the area in Malaysia anyway. Oh yeah.
Okay, going back to the pruning, sir. How to do the pruning properly?
Well, pruning is very important. During the first year, there are branches which are not in the right position because they are too close to each other. Sometimes it's crooked, and this has to be removed. So primary branches which are straight and strong, slightly horizontal, should be retained. And then the first, many farmers would only allow the plants to grow about about 15 to 18 feet tall.
Okay.
So they would do cutting of the main branches on top in about 3 years.
After reaching the 15...
After even before that, so reaching
Okay.
at 12 feet tall, they would cut the 2 meters there.
Okay.
So other branches, big branches, would be developing from that.
And
then
how many branches you're going to maintain now?
The more branches provided, bigger branches at the
Lower portion?
lower portion would be better. The more branches, the better.
So hindi yung ililimit mo lang into 4 branches,
Yes,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Then habang tumataas, mas konti yung branches.
Yes, so normally this would be about 10 to 12 fruiting branches, although there are those that could reach up to 15 fruiting branches.
Is there any lateral branches pruning, sir?
Well, there are. The small branches coming from the lateral branches should be removed, the inside portion, because these are the fruiting branches. So, meaning this should be free from vegetative growth to allow flowering and fruiting.
I see.
Aside from the pruning in here, of course, when the plant would reach the vegetative parts, that of flowering, induced flowering is very important.
Ilang taon na yung plant by that time, sir?
5 years to 6 years.
Okay.
So by that time, a good irrigation system should be there, because when the plants would experience sometimes two weeks of dry period or up to 4 weeks, then irrigate that through flooding, there will be a lot of flowering. This will induce flowering. So that's one of the functions of irrigation, to induce flowering. And then, of course, with flowering comes the fruit flower thinning to the right population, and then pollination, and then from pollination again fruit thinning to remove the fruits which are deformed. Those having only 2 to 3 locules develop, so it produces a deformed fruit. This should be removed.
Sige, sir. So, isa-isayin natin. So, doon po sa, yun doon sa fruiting, no? Flowering, yun yung way to para magbulaklak na madami. Parang a certain number of weeks na dry siya.
Dry na dry, yes.
Kaano ka-dry yun, sir? Ano ba yung logic nun, sir? Bakit dry na dry, tas biglang nag-irrigate ka, biglang mamumulaklak?
That's the, according to some botanists, it's one way of treating the plant. Because withdrawing water would, of course, withdraw also the growth. And the moment water is introduced, the tendency is to produce produce the reproductive part as a way of survival.
But is there a particular month of the year na kailan gawin ito, sir?
Well, in the Philippines, this normally happen in Mindanao from February to March.
Okay.
So after that, when there is the dry period, irrigation is being followed. So April, this comes on April. After that, you count 4 months after, because it will be flowering after that. So May, June, July, August. That's why we have the peak of harvest on these months. And then we have the secondary dry period from October to November. But sometimes this is short only. So by the time the plants are irrigated, it will produce flowers by December. That's why we have secondary harvest in April and May in Mindanao. It can happen differently in other parts of the country.
Of the Philippines.
Yes, yeah, like in.
So because of the technology, sir, no? So pwede mong sadyain na pamungahin yung durian, let's say for example, off-season, para mataas yung mahal yung magiging bunga. Is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible. And that they have been successful in doing that in Vietnam. For example, the use of the use of plastic mulch, no? So they would rather induce early dry period. So when before the monsoon rain comes, they would irrigate that. They have plenty of water anyway, and they produce a lot of fruits. We can do that in the Philippines also.
Oh, I see. And yung next, sir, is doon sa flowering stage. Na-mention mo yung pollination. What's the best way to pollinate?
Well, the flowers are open from starting about 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The female flower becomes sticky up to about 8 o'clock. And so that's the time pollination should be carried out. Oftentimes, there are a lot of flowers, you do not need to pollinate, but rather, here in Thailand, it's really their practice to pollinate because you must have many developing fruits from where you can select good fruits to be retained and those which are not good to be removed. So in Davao, you will note that one of the participants says that we do not need pollination there. That's right, because Samal has a cave where there are a lot of bats there, and in the evening you can see these bats moving towards Davao City and towards Kalinan side. Nandoon ang malaking deposit ng mga bats sa Samal Island.
But if yung tamang pollination, it's either natural or hand pollination, let's say by human intervention, may effect ba doon sa quality of fruit pag maganda yung pagkaka-pollinate niya?
Maganda yung pag-pollinate, so you have a lot of developing fruits. Meaning you can really select the fruits which you wish to develop to maturity. So we'll form one, the big ones. Those coming from big branches also should be retained because they are the ones that would be giving big fruits also.
Okay, sir. Na-mention mo na yun, sir, yung retaining certain fruits. So yung thinning na tinatawag, bakit ho natin kailangan gawin yan?
Thinning
ng fruits?
We have to start with thinning of flowers. Sometimes there are a
from
lot
the
of
flowers
flowers.
pa lang.
Yeah, flowers para mag-thin out na. Okay, so proper spacing of the flowers from where the fruits will develop. So the fruits will be able to get nutrients from the big branches.
Yeah.
And so those from the well-developed branches, the flowers are retained there and from the stem if there are. Then second, with fruit thinning is, let us say you would like that tree to develop 200 fruits or 250 fruits. So you can select from these branches which are those which are spaced apart and which should be developed into quality fruits. Normally, they would in fruits that would join together that are too close to each other are discouraged because
Sacrificing isa.
The reason for this is sometimes it's the entry of the borer, the space between the two, between the two adjacent fruits.
So each parang isa-isang fruit lang, sir.
Yes.
Anong tawag doon sa ganun niya?
Peduncle.
So isang fruit lang dapat.
Yes, so.
And you mentioned 150 fruits per tree?
For the big ones, 200 to 300 fruits.
These are the old trees?
These are the old trees, yeah.
But for the, let's say, first time to fruit?
For the new ones, maybe 200 or even less than that fruits per tree. You must have a good estimate of the situation. How many fruits would that tree support to come up with quality fruits?
Yeah.
When we say quality, for example, in Musangking, only fruits which are 2 kilos to 3 kilos are considered of very good quality, class A. The smaller one, 1 kilo, 1.5, are considered already class B.
So if I wanted to produce class A lahat, so pwedeng ang decision ko is mas konti yung fruit na i-retain ko.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You must have a good assessment of the situation. How many fruits are to be retained to come up with good fruits, meaning weighing about 2 to 3 kilos.
Until when po yung windows mo to 15? Hanggang kailan yung dapat stop ka na, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-15?
About the size of the fruit would be about ping pong size or a little bigger than that. You can still continue proteining at that stage.
Ayan. And sir, during that time, let's say na-decide mo na ito lang yung gusto mo, what will be the management?
Well, fertilization will have something to do because with there is a role of the thumb. Okay, this is the amount of fertilizer you apply. Let us say 2.5 kilos per tree. But as a rule of the thumb, in addition to that, when you have 50 or more fruits, you have to add another kilo of fertilizer. So let us say with 200 fruits, that means from the 2.5 you have to add about another 3 kilos, so that becomes already 6 kilos of fertilizer, properly spaced applied for that fruit development. Of course, among this, the last application will be about a good amount of potash to promote the sweetening of the fruits.
Lahat ng gagamitin by this time, sir, are inorganic fertilizer.
Inorganic, although we recommend really every 6 months there should be application of at least 1/2 sack to 1 sack of organic fertilizer. And when we say organic fertilizer, the good one is
Chicken manure.
Chicken manure, and not only that, vermicast, or even cocoa coir dust. These are good organic fertilizer.
How about pests and diseases, sir?
Well, the pest and diseases, it should be timely control to the fruiting behavior. At early stage, it's very easy to control because by routinary spraying every 7 to 10 days of insecticide and fungicide, you develop good vegetative development. But when it comes to fruiting, the fruits are more susceptible about 1 month when they are developing, and so it is here where an addition of insecticide should be applied up to the time the fruits will be about 3 months. Application every 10 days. After that, the bark of durian is too hard for the insect to penetrate.
After 3 months yun, sir?
Yeah,
of the fruit.
except that sometimes during this time, we'll have a lot of pests also like aphids, and aphids would be affecting the quality of the fruits when there are a lot of aphids around.
So natapos na natin yung mga cultural management and all. Now, kailan ho mag-harvest?
Normally kasi sa Musangking, from the start of pollination, it will take about 110 to 115 days.
Okay.
Or even 125 days. Dito, medium level of fruiting. Hindi gaya late ng muntong or as early as kradomtong and kanyaw. This middle level. So one way of determining is on the number of days to pollination. Although this would also vary
Depending on the climate.
Depending on the climate. With more rain, it becomes later.
Pag mas mainit,
drier, it becomes earlier. Yeah.
Okay. And when the best time to harvest, sir? May araw, may oras ba yan or any time?
Well, normally they would harvest this at the when the morning dew is already not there. Of course, for the for the safety of climbing the tree, and another one is that's the time also where a good moisture is retained on the fruits. So that's the time they harvest.
And ano ba yan, sir? May mga certain techniques ba para yung quality ng fruit mas maganda?
Well, just the same with other varieties. There are indications wherein the fruit is already mature, like the enlargement of the peduncle, and then knocking the fruit when it produces a hollow sound, and so on. Also, the thorn becomes more or less no longer too tight. So these are indication. But in Mindanao, there are really professional harvesters. Ito na lang trabaho
Alam
nila.
na nila talaga yan.
Alam nila yung
And ano yun, sir? Yung nagka-crack, masama ba yun? Or it's also an indication?
well, cracking is really not a good, you know. That's why in Malaysia, they would not allow the fruit to fall on the ground. So what happened is, surrounding the trees, they have nets. So anything that would fall during the daytime or during early morning time, they would collect that. They lack laborers to climb the tree and harvest, so they would just harvest there on the net. And of course, these are the best. They are the best durian when it ripen and drop on the net. These are among the best fruits.
Mas masarap yan, sir?
Mas masarap yan.
Oh, I see. And sir, mayroon siyang parang gano'n, no? May dugtungan siya.
Yes, yeah.
Na dapat dito siya maputol talaga.
Yes, yeah. That's the one that enlarges with the maturity.
Oh, I see. Okay. And meron bang post-harvest handling, sir, na kailangan sundin?
Well,
especially for export?
Well, number one is it should not fall on the ground.
Okay.
And then another one is on the piling of fruits. See to it that some would limit to 5 levels only per container.
Okay.
Yeah. Meaning, but some would also go to extent of 7 fruit per level. So it will not damage the fruits and so on. And normally at the time of harvest, for export, these are already brought into the processing area of the exporter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oo. And then si exporter na yung may protocol.
Yes, yeah, cleaning and you know, and all these things, weighing, and so yung exporter na may protocol dito.
In place na yun, sir, yung protocol na yan.
Yeah.
And our farmers are already educated with that kind of protocol.
With that, they conduct training in Davao, so farmers are aware of this. The type of fruits that they are going to the processors for export.
Sir, gaano kalaki ang pwedeng kitain?
Well, I would say that in Malaysia right now, a hectare of musang king is giving a farmer from equivalent to 12 to 20 million per hectare per year.
Wow.
That is on the age of 10 years.
Yeah,
and above.
the big one.
The big one, up to 50 years, because musang king would last. Fortunately, musang king is one of the varieties that have less problems with Phytophthora.
Okay.
And so that's the reason in our farm, while we abandoned it, they were
They're still there.
They were still there
Okay.
at the time. And so, but as I said, in our computation, we just include about 1/4 of this. And so for a farmer to be getting about 1 million to 6 million a year, it's already a lot of money compared to the planting of other crops, for that matter.
Yeah. And maganda dun, sir, you don't need to, di ba, for a small farmer, 2-3 hectares is enough, di ba?
Yes.
So you don't need na kailangan massive yung production mo, yung plantation mo.
Yung planting. And this fits into our size of farm, the agrarian reform of about 2 to 5,
Yes,
5 hectares. So even if you have only 2 to 3 hectares, provided it is well taken care of, that's more than enough income to meet the needs of the family, to buy a car, construct a good house,
Yes, yes.
and have the
Magpaaral.
education of the children. So that's already more than enough.
Oo. Basta sundin yung tamang cultural
Yes.
management, which is somehow naikwento na ni Doc sa atin.
Yes, just follow the basic protocol. Distance of planting, take care how the plants are being taken up to fruiting, and taking good care of the fruiting plants, very important.
At sa mga gustong mag-start ng plantation, importante na you have to buy yung mga seedlings sa reputable nurseries. Siyempre kay Doc Pamplona.
Oh yeah, there are many sources in Mindanao, but the problem is there are still planting materials that are coming from seedling trees. And when we see seedling trees, these are Musang King seeds brought into the Philippines without the benefit of sexual propagation.
Yes.
This grow into tall trees, and the products of this would not be very good.
Yung nagbabago yung characteristic
Yes,
because
yeah.
nanggaling sa seeds.
Yeah.
So the best talaga ay seedlings na grafted, sir.
Grafted, yes.
From sayon na kinabitan ng sayon na talagang
From fruiting with quality, fruiting
with quality.
Musang King with quality.
Oo. And sir, paano nila sir makaka-acquire ng planting materials from you?
Well, we have on our website, we send regularly by truck to Manila and to even to northern Luzon, those who are planting in Nueva Vizcaya, and then in southern Tagalog. Although I would say that 80% of the plantings are still in Mindanao.
Okay. And what's your website, sir?
This is Triple P Farms and Nursery.
Okay. And may Facebook page then?
Yes, yeah.
It's the same name po ang Facebook page. Sir, can you repeat po yung pangalan ng nursery ninyo?
Triple P Farms and Nursery.
Okay. So, ano po, basahin nyo lang po yung description ng bawat videos natin. I-click lang yung baba, yung description. Makikita nyo, andyan lahat po yung details nila Dr. Pamplona para paano kayo maka-acquire ng planting material. And again, huwag basta-basta bibili kung kani-kanino kasi mahirap yung maghihintay ka ng 7 years tapos iba yung binunga. Marami yung mga modus na ganyan nangyayari. So, talagang kailangan mo, when you start your plantation, start right by buying the right planting material.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yes, sir.
Para walang sisihan.
Yes, sir. Para walang sisihan. Pero
Uli ng pagsisisi.
maghihintay ka ng 7 years. Tapos iba yung binunga. Okay, sir. Last word mo sa ating mga audience, sir.
I think our farmers should take advantage of the situation now.
Okay.
Planting durian becomes easier with the protocols that we have developed, and it's easy to follow. And it's one way wherein we would again invite the new generations to go back to farming because there is money in farming,
Yes, yes.
particularly durian and other high-value crops for that matter. A lot of our farms are being left out, become vacant, or planted to coconut. When it's planted to coconut, it becomes less productive there because they visit less. But with durian, which requires, of course, good care from time to time, good attention from time to time, and then finally you get good income from it. This is something that the new generation of Filipino farmers should look into.
Ayan. So, kayang-kayang humabol ng Pilipinas sa Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. In fact, si Doc Pamplona ay kayo po yung consultant dito sa Thailand ng mga several farms po, sir, no?
Yeah, there were before, and we were the ones training the Vietnamese at the time. Now they are ahead of us.
Di bali, sir. Hahabol tayo. Sir, thank you so much po. Thank you sa Inspired Learning Tours, no? Dito pa kami nagkita ulit ni Doc Pamplona dito sa Thailand after 30 years, sir, yung huling nagkita tayo.
Yeah.
Sobrang bata pa namin noon, nag-umpisa pa lang anong career ko sa TV. Sobrang kulit pa. Makulit pa kami noon.
We were drinking then a lot of beers, now no more.
Biglang hihinto kami, dinadala kami ni Doc sa mga iba-ibang mga farms. From yung mga, meron pa tayong pinuntahan na yung mga matatandang puno talaga.
Yeah.
Meron tayong pinuntahan gano'n. So pag nagta-travel kami ganyan, napapagod sa biyahe, biglang hihinto kami, sabi ni Doc, mag-ano muna tayo, mag-relax na lang tayo. Akala ko soft drinks inumin namin. Beer pala. Tanghaling tapat. Sir, thank you so much po.
Sige, thank you also for the benefit that we are able to share the technology.
Yes, sir. Hope na soon makabisita kami sa inyong nurseries.
Yeah, you are always welcome.
Thank you,
Buddy.
sir.
Available na po ang Agribusiness merch sa Shopee. Ang link nasa description box. Agribusiness, how it works. Instruct, inspire, succeed.